Hi everyone, it's Patti Lucia from Mother Earth Sanctuary Cafe. Many of you often ask when you come in and see that I have now 20 original hand-formed veggie burgers on my menu. You ask, how in the world do you really come up with these things? And how do you get the names? I do have burgers that are called conspiracy burgers and a yam burger, fairy burgers, gnome burgers, a John and Yoko burger, mermaid burgers. So they all go in very different directions flavor-wise, but a lot of thought goes into them as well. One of the things that I really take into consideration is what or whom am I naming my burgers after? In a way, naming anything after anyone is a way to honor them. So whenever I'm creating a new burger, it is a way of honoring someone or a concept with food. So you'll see if you look at my menu, all of the things that are near and dear to my heart, or those things that I wish to honor in the way of food. So I've been spending a lot of time this summer, in the summer of 2014, celebrating and honoring the elementals. And so I've created a fairy burger, a gnome burger, a mermaid burger, and those have all been burgers which I've given an awful lot of thought to, and I've done some research on, and I've put together burgers that I would hope a fairy or a gnome or a mermaid might enjoy. Not just the people who enjoy those concepts or those real beings, because I personally believe that they are real, perhaps existing currently in another dimension, but they are part of Mother Earth. And that's why it's important for me, the owner of Mother Earth Sanctuary Cafe, to honor them in whatever ways I can. So recently, the concept of a dragon burger came up, and I thought this might be an opportunity to show you my process right from the beginning. So today I'm going to kind of go through a process with you before I even know how it's going to turn out. So you're kind of walking through a process of creation with me without me really knowing yet whether my ideas are going to work. All right, so the idea that we're starting with today is the dragon burger. Now, dragons are mythical creatures who have been greatly misunderstood over the eons, but they have been really, really important to Mother Earth and to humanity in many, many different ways. I personally, as I feel about all the other elementals, believe that dragons are real, and one day when Earth is different, or in the new Earth, we may be able to coexist with a lot of the beings that perhaps we don't see right now. But before we get there, we have to learn some respect for them. So along the way, I'm doing my part by naming burgers after them and showing them as much honor and respect as I can. So a dragon, from my understanding, is a creature who is very, very tied to Mother Earth. It's lived in caves. That's where they lived. They lived in caves and mountains, and when holy men would go and to commune with them, they would be in the mountains. In some esoteric circles, it is believed that dragons are responsible for the gold deposits in our earth, that they are very, very connected with the sentient being of Mother Earth herself. So they're very, very sacred and misunderstood beings. Now, so they're very, very of Earth, and they're also extremely fiery. So as I was thinking of the concept for a dragon burger, I wanted to bring both earth and fire together. And how would I do that? So I've been thinking about it a lot, and I just wanted to show you some of the things that I'm starting with. And then once I've shown you all the things that I'm going to be working with, I'm going to start putting them together, and then we'll all see how it turns out in the end, okay? So, earth. I need a base for my burgers. Like, I have yam burgers and black bean burgers and other bean burgers. So you need something for a base, something to kind of bring everything together. So I wanted something very, very earthy that I hadn't yet used. So what I'm working with today is actually a new root vegetable that I have not worked with yet. And it is the Jamaican yellow yam. Now, when you look at a Jamaican yellow yam, I am telling you, this is it, obviously, before it's cooked. You can't get more earthy than this. You just can't. This says earth, all of it. And so when I looked at this, I thought, if there was a way that I could make the dragon burger using this as a base, then that's what I wanted to do, because it is so earthy. One thing about it as well, when you cut it up, you see that it is a very vibrant yellow. And yellow, fire, flame, I thought it was most appropriate for a dragon burger. So we've got both earth and fire in this root vegetable. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the perfect base for my dragon burger. Let's take a look at some of the other ingredients that I've been thinking about. Now, I always put onion and garlic in my burgers simply because it's such a fundamental flavor element. So there will be onion and garlic in this burger. I also wanted what other earthy kinds of things could I have in here? Well, sage is very earthy. Sage is very earthy, so I'm going to incorporate fresh sage in this burger. I also love pigeon peas. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? They say earth too, and they're a nice complement. They're a browner, so I think they're going to be little pops of brown in these yellow burgers, and so I really wanted to incorporate pigeon peas. And I also know that flavor wise, pigeon peas and any kind of yam work really well together. So, fire, heat, how are we going to do it? Well, I have a lot of fresh chili peppers. I wanted to get fresh chili peppers because I want to cut them up and have like pieces, specks, flecks of fire just kind of flying through the burger. Now you're biting into it and it's like, earth, ooh, fire, ah! I want that kind of experience. It's like earth, fire, earth, fire, earth, fire, okay? Now, ginger. Ginger produces a lot of heat. Again, it's a root. This is a beautiful ginger root. I'm not going to use the whole thing, but I love that ginger is this such an earthy root which provides a lot of heat. So I'm going to have some ginger in this as well. For my spices, I want to definitely have curry in there. A really rich yellow curry that's going to work really nicely with those Jamaican yams. I also would love to put in some smoked paprika. Smoked. It's red and it's smoked. What's not dragon about that? And red pepper, flecks of red pepper that you're going to see floating around there. So we've got the fresh chili pepper, we've got the flecks of red pepper, we've got some paprika happening in there, we've got some ginger. So hopefully we've got enough heat, we've got enough fire going on in that. I've also considered cayenne, but what I'm doing is I'm kind of saving that for later, and if it needs if it needs some more heat, then we're going to come in with the cayenne. But I'm hoping that the heat producing vegetables and spices I have going on here are going to be enough. We'll see. Now, I always need to thicken my burgers. So I had to think about, well, what flour, what grain, what flour was I going to use to thicken up this dragon burger? And the flour that seemed to make the most sense, or what I was kind of sensing, I cook a lot intuitionally, so, you know, you kind of have to, you know, fly along by the seat of your pants if you're coming along with me, because a lot of this is just really intuitive, okay? So, which makes it kind of fun. But I went with chickpea flour. I love the color of it. I think it's going to go really, really well with the yellow of the yellow Jamaican yams. And I also love the flavor of it. I think it works really well with the other spices, and it brings with it its own protein. So you've got a real fair amount of protein going into this burger. It's hearty, it's earthy, and it's got fire. So it's got muscle, you know. Dragons are strong and muscular, powerful, and earthy, of the earth, and with a lot of fire. So I'm hoping that what I've done is brought enough of those elements together to honor them as best I can, and produce a burger that's going to taste great for everyone who tries it. Definitely, this is going to be a burger for people who like heat. This is going to be a burger for people who really like spice, really like heat. And there are plenty of you out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop now to kind of put all of this together and come back in a second once I've got stuff kind of starting to mix up a little, and we'll just see where we go from there. So hang in there. We're going to go into step 2 in just a second.